Finding problems? That's easy. They exist in every community. I'm Terry Springs, your host. We're looking deeper, and we are talking solutions, finding out how we all can make a difference. Now on Talking Solutions, inviting in some of our friends from the Nevada Donor Network. Alma Rodriguez is with us, and also Christine Hernandez.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you for having us.
Always happy to have you here. April is Organ Donor Month.
Yeah, we're here today to talk about April being National Donate Life Month. It's essentially a time where our organization and organizations across the country speak to and bring awareness to organ, eye, and tissue donation. It's a time to honor our local heroic donor heroes, as well as bring awareness to people that are waiting for life-saving organ transplants.
Here with Beasley Media Group, we are very aware of the importance of organ donation because we had a liver transplant for a wife within the building a few years back. We've had a kidney transplant. It is essential. I think also people don't realize how common it is.
Oh, yes. Just under 115,000 Americans are currently waiting on the transplant list to receive their second chance at life. And just to bring it locally, we have 581 Nevadans that are waiting to receive that gift. And it's incredible what a donor hero's impact can be. They can save up to 8 lives through organ donation and heal 75 lives or more through tissue donation. So it's an incredible gift that brings hope to both sides, really.
That's another thing, Christine, that I think people don't know. There are more types of donations than just a major organ. A heart, a kidney, a liver, lungs, I would suppose. I mean, but as you mentioned a moment ago, tissue donation can benefit so many people.
Absolutely. And in some cases, it can save a life. It can bring someone's sight that hasn't had it through cornea donation, and it can give them just an easier life. They can heal from pain that they've been having for 20 years of their life. So it's an incredible gift. Whatever way a donor hero can impact somebody is a gift that is immeasurable.
And it is Donate Life Month during April. Alma, you have been in with us a couple of times. You know, I don't think I've ever asked you how you became involved with Nevada Donor Network, because a lot of times people have a story.
Yes, I have been here as a representative of Nevada Donor Network. As you know, I do their multicultural outreach, but I too have a connection to donation. Out of my 3 boys, my youngest, he's 11 years old, Christopher Rodriguez, is a heart recipient.
Wow, how old was he when this became an issue that needed fixing?
It's an interesting story, Terry. We realized that he needed a heart transplant based on an incidental finding. He had cold symptoms, flu symptoms, and we were treating him for a cold, essentially. The doctors thought he had pneumonia and bronchitis, so they were treating that. They treated him for 7 days with antibiotic. After 7 days, the pediatric doctor decided that he was going to repeat an x-ray, which revealed that he had enlarged heart. Now, at that moment, we didn't know if it was based on the coughing that he's had for the previous 10 days.
The illness.
Right. So he did a referral to the cardiologist, and the cardiologist and their staff were amazing. They got us in right the same day at 3 o'clock that afternoon. They did a quick echo just based on Christopher's availability. He's young. He's 15 months old at this time.
Wow.
So he's not too cooperative and too friendly. So they did a quick echo. The cardiologist decided that we needed to do a more extensive test. So he ordered a cardiac cath, a procedure that you go into the OR under anesthesia and they measure the pressures of the heart. After that test was done, we realized that he had restrictive cardiomyopathy, which is an enlargement of the heart. And the only way that we can solve this problem is by a heart transplant. So we were told January 3rd that he would need a heart transplant to live.
How does that feel as a parent when your 15-month-old, you find out, needs a heart transplant?
It's a mixture. It's a roller coaster. We have mixed emotions. We don't know what this process looks like. Again, I'm a young mom. I don't know about donation, and my experience in the healthcare field was on the opposite side. I grew up working for pediatric offices, and at that time I was a supervisor at UMC in the medical records department. Never did I read about a case of organ donation, so I had no idea what the transplant and that process looked like or what it meant. So after extensive research on my side and education from the the physician side, we realized that we were hoping and we needed someone to say yes to donation so my son can have that opportunity to live and have a second chance at life. When I started at Nevada Donor Network about 5 years ago, I started there as a quality compliance coordinator. So again, we were going to be reviewing policies and procedures, not fully grasping and understanding what the organization as a whole did, because I had one small role in the organization, which was in the quality department. 2 years into that field, the outreach coordinator position came open, and I felt like it was my time, an opportunity for me to raise awareness based on my experience and teach our community, the Hispanic community, African American community, and Asian community about the importance and how donation can affect us, because that has no barriers. There's no age, there's no ethnicity, there's no walls, there's nothing. If you need it, it's going to hit you, and we are all going to be faced with that decision at one point, whether we want to donate our loved ones' gifts or not. It was a great opportunity, and I've been there since, and I love it.
I read a while back, Nevada Donor Network was given some kind of honor for being a really highly functioning donor network. I read it in a paper or something, and I went, yes, because I know you guys have a high bar of performance and that you're always striving for excellence. And you're always, as you said, Alma, trying to do outreach to spread the word of the importance of donation, be it organ, tissue, whatever. When we first started these interviews a few years back, we had Kelly in, and she was saying that our participation in Nevada was about 40%. Is that still the case?
Actually, no, it is not. I have great news for you. Currently in Nevada, we have 1.2 million Nevadans registered. Per census data, that is 60% of our state.
Yes!
Which is awesome.
It
is. We are 6% above the national average of 54%. So it's incredible. We are so proud of our Nevadans who have decided to become a hero and say yes to organ, eye, and tissue donations. So it's incredible news that I was so excited to share with you.
Well, and one of the reasons why that's the case, why we would be above the national average, Christine, is because people like Nevada Donor Network spreading the word and the fact that it's easy to do. The thing that I also like to point out is that organ or tissue donation is a family issue. It's not like one person can go, oh yeah, I'd love to get involved with that. That's all well and good. And I'm going to sign off on my driver's license or whatever method you take to get yourself registered as a organ or tissue donor. But it's also something that you need to let your family know about.
Oh, yes, absolutely. One of the biggest things I say when I'm out talking in our community in Nevada is share your wishes. That is the number one most important thing you can do, is just talk about it. Have a conversation with your family and loved ones. And like you said, it's easy to do. If there are any iPhone users out there, you can go and actually register now within your health app, within the medical ID, and even head online if you're not an iPhone user and go to registerme.org. And of course, we all know, as you mentioned, getting that heart on your license, checking yes at the DMV is just as easy as well. So really, it's just about letting your loved ones know and then just making that decision.
One of the things that was a misunderstanding on the part of a lot of people is that, well, if I told them that I'm willing to be an organ donor, I'm sure they won't work as hard to save me. That is ridiculous.
Yes, absolutely ridiculous. I love to have these open conversations with people like you, Terry, in our community, because let's just talk through it. Share with me what your fears are, what you believe myths are, because we can talk through that, and I can definitely share with you what actually happens. There's so many checks and balances in place that could never happen. Doctors, as we know from recent tragedies like October 1, they work their hardest to save each and every person's lives in our community that they are responsible for. So that's never something that you have to worry about. And there's no conversation about donation until someone is legally declared. And there will never be that conversation.
Well, it makes me think of the old billboards and stuff for Palm Mortuary talking about drive safely, we're willing to wait. The thing is that it's going to happen with all of us at some point in time.
Absolutely.
It's unavoidable. However, we are all willing to wait. We appreciate you offering up this incredible gift of organ or tissue donation, but we're not in a hurry for it.
Oh, no, absolutely. And one way that I like to communicate this with our community is by you registering and saying yes, you bring hope to those just under 115,000 Americans waiting. Just by saying yes, they know that you're supportive and you want to give them a second chance at life. So it's really just the hope that you're bringing by saying yes that means all the difference.
We're talking with Nevada Donor Network. It's National Donate Life Month. And so we always enjoy the opportunity to sit down and talk with Nevada Donor Network. We've got Christine Hernandez with us. Also, Alma Rodriguez. You were mentioning that your young child was in need of a heart transplant. At that point, when it sinks in and you deal with it as a parent, you go, well, this is something that we need to look into. And the doctor automatically puts you on a list maybe for a donation. What steps did you go through?
It was very unfortunate for us living in the state of Nevada because we only have one transplant center here. And that transplant center is at UMC, and they specialize in kidney transplantation. So for anyone in my case and going through this experience, if you need any other type of organ transplant, you have to travel outside of Nevada. So in our case, we had to travel to California Loma Linda Children's Hospital, where we took Christopher to get an assessment. And the doctor had to make sure that he ran tests and to ensure that Christopher was ill enough to need this surgery, but healthy enough to sustain himself during the surgery, because it's a major risk if he puts Christopher for a transplant, but he's not healthy enough to sustain a surgery, we can lose him at that moment. So it's not a win-win situation. It's various steps that we have to take to ensure that we have everything in line and that we're going to have a successful outcome. And of course, part of that, for a mom, I want my son to live, but I'm also thinking that someone has to lose their loved one so my son can live. As a mom, I always have that behind my head. And I had it for about 6 years until I received a letter from my donor mom who very specifically mentioned not to feel guilty, because we don't know how to not feel guilty. And it's not just me, it's anyone that receives a transplant.
Sure.
You carry that guilt, and it's unnecessary, because they made a decision knowing that their loved one was going to continue on living through the recipient that's going to receive that gift. And that's what gives them peace and comfort, the fact that they're going to grant life to someone else.
Their loved one carries on.
Yes, and that's very important. And it did take me a few years to try to move away from that. I don't know, it's part of having emotions, I guess, and having a heart. We're always going to think about our donor heroes. We're always going to think about their families. I'm going to be forever grateful. There's not enough words in the dictionary to express that gratitude. Just taking the best of it, caring for my son and making sure that he turns out to be a good citizen and wants to give back and somehow pay it back. That's the only thing I can do as a parent, is giving back and paying it forward.
I would imagine too, Alma, that when it happens, the donor family, parents especially, are now part of your extended family.
They are, and they will forever be. In my case, we haven't actually met, but we have a few of our volunteers who establish a relationship, and they do these hope walks in different parts of the state, and they go there to meet their loved ones and their donor families. They do family get-togethers, they do birthday celebrations, they do heartversaries, and they celebrate together. I haven't had that. My donor family is back in Guatemala, but my hope is that one day I'm going to take my entire family to their family and we meet like that.
It could happen.
Yes, it can.
Absolutely.
It's pretty exciting.
It is.
Nevada Donor Network. April is Donate Life Month nationally, and certainly we're celebrating it here. I love the information I got from you also, Christine, that Nevada's numbers of people signing up to donate when the time comes is now above the national average. Yes.
Yes, it's so awesome.
More than 60%, and it is super easy to do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like I said, it's as easy as going onto your iPhone, heading online to registerme.org, and even just checking yes at the DMV and just, saying yes to donation and receiving that heart on your license to show your support. There are many other ways that people can support as well. We have our annual walk run coming up at Mountain's Edge in Exploration Peak Park. It's actually going to be completely different than we've ever done it before, completely different than traditional charity walks that we normally attend. It's going to be a glow run at nighttime. And so essentially what we're trying to portray is that in a very dark time, the hope that donation brings, it glows and it brings this light to others who receive that gift. So we'll have so many different things. It's family friendly. There will be different ways that you can recognize and honor your donor hero if someone was able to receive the gift of life or they have a donor hero in their family. So it's going to be an awesome time.
What's the date on that?
It is April 21st. at 6 p.m.
So a Saturday night is the
Yes.
21st at 6 p.m. I live at Mountain's Edge.
See?
We could do this.
It's perfect.
And to sign up and get information, the website?
Yes. Head over to envydonor.org/hopeglows, and you can pre-register right there. It's a free event to attend. And like I said, there'll be so many activities. There'll be food trucks, there'll be glow face painting, there'll be tons of games, and of course, costume competitions, because at Nevada Donor Network, we love costume competitions. So it'll be awesome.
Sounds like fun. You
Yes.
know that we're going to have all the information, including links and everything, and a podcast of our discussion today on our Talking Solutions Facebook page, like always.
Great.
Alma Rodriguez, having a child like Christopher who needed an organ donation, how does that change your relationship with the Nevada Donor Network? I mean, that's solidified at this point, I would think.
Oh, definitely. Of course, we're all donors. Even my 17 and 13-year-old kids, they've already made the decision. They're going to be donors when that time comes. And when they get their license, they're going to make sure that they identify that on there as a reflection and support to donation. But what I do, it's not my profession as you would see it, just like you do your radio, right? This became my passion. This is part of my life. This is my life. That's how I see it. I like to divide both. I know where I'm headed professionally, but there's always that passion that drives me. So I don't know my end goal and my end solution, but I know that through my passion, I will find my way.
Passion makes all the difference. You know, people have jobs they go to every day, but when you have a passion, it's no longer a job.
No.
It's a daily adventure. It's what can I help accomplish? Where can I shine a light today to make a difference?
Absolutely.
That
That's the
makes
driver.
Nevada Donor Network special.
Yes.
I love that. You know, as part of Talking Solutions, we always ask, what can we do to help you? Alma, what do you think?
Thank you for this opportunity. As always, we love raising awareness and spreading the message, but I would encourage all of our listeners to learn more about donation. And we're always here. If they have any questions, 702-796-9600 or our website, envydonor.org. Don't hesitate to reach out. We have Christina as a community services coordinator. I do multicultural outreach. I'm willing to share my personal experience openly, ask, and if you have any questions, we're always available.
Those donations make not only a major impact for the person who receives it, but for the families, everyone around them in their circle. It benefits more than just the person that you give the donation to.
Absolutely.
It's everyone else who's
You're right.
affected.
You're right, Terry. In this aspect with Christopher, of course, he was 15 months old, so it changed all of our lives. Now we get to play with him. He plays soccer. He hugs me and kisses me. And at one point, we didn't know if we were going to continue to have that. Again, he was 15 months old. So it does change the whole community. There's other recipients here that we experience who, you know, they're church members, their school, their friends, extended friends, everybody around them. You change the life of not just that one person, but everybody around them. You are absolutely correct on that.
You want to talk about a gift? That is a gift.
Absolutely.
It's an ongoing gift of another day.
Yes, Terry. So the way I see it is leave a legacy and be the hero of your own story, because that's exactly what you're doing. You have the opportunity to leave a legacy behind. And at the end of the day, you become the hero of your own story. And we have that control. We have that power.
And it is Donate Life Month right now during the month of April. Any day, though. More than happy for you to get involved. Christine Hernandez, I'm going to ask you the same question that we always ask on Talking Solutions. What can we do to help you?
I just want to leave you with one thing. The quote for this month and for National Donate Life Month in 2018 is "Be a rainbow in someone else's cloud" by Maya Angelou. And I don't think that could be said any more perfectly, because truly a rainbow is beautiful. It comes out of a storm, maybe not the best day that you have, one of the worst days of your life in some instances when we're talking about donation, but you truly can be a rainbow in someone else's cloud and bring them something that they never thought they could have. So get out there, register. If you can, attend our walk run, come have some fun with us, and, you know, get to know somebody. You never know someone's story and how they could be potentially impacted by donation. It's incredible, all the stories I hear now that I'm involved with Nevada Donor Network.
And I would bet, too, Christine, with the walk run that you've got coming up on Saturday the 21st at Mountain's Edge Exploration Park, when you get a group of people together for an event for Nevada Donor Network, you hear stories.
I am a crier. I will be the first one to admit it. And I don't think I've shed this many tears. And when you talk about passion, what Alma spoke to, I have a reason why I'm here. My grandfather passed away waiting for a heart transplant when he was only 51. And to be here today, I feel as though I am just advocating for him so that no one else has to lose their grandpa like I did. And he was still able to be a donor hero and give someone the gift of sight. So it becomes your mission and your passion. And every day I work, I don't feel like I'm working. I just love what I do. It's an incredible cause to be a part of. I encourage all Nevadans to join the cause and become a hero. It's as easy as registering, and we're always looking for advocates of our cause to speak out in the community and just speak to your loved ones. Like I said earlier, really just having that conversation is what spreads awareness and brings more conversations to be had about our cause.
Because lots of times they don't realize how common donation is.
Yes.
Chances are in your circle, among the people you work with, at your church, at your school, in your neighborhood, someone has been positively affected through donation of organs or tissue.
Yes, that's the truth. It's something that I didn't really speak about a lot, but I've always been a donor. I've always thought, why wouldn't you be, even prior to doing this? And now I meet so many people and run into them, and I receive messages on Facebook like, my sister passed away, thank you for doing what you did. It's just incredible, the outpouring of support that we get, and we hope to continue to get, and 60% is great, but let's get 100% of Nevadans registered.
Yeah, I could see that, because when you make that donation, when it actually happens, you're not needing that anymore.
Absolutely.
So you can live on through enriching someone else's life.
Exactly, and it's a powerful thing to do.
It's Donate Life Month, Nevada Donor Network. Now, I want to know, Alma, Christine, is there anything I'm forgetting?
We've hit it all. Awesome interview.
You know we love having you here. And Alma, you'll have to come back, because I know that there is the month where we reach out specifically to minorities to also raise awareness. We just want everybody, as you said, Christine, 100%. Let's all get involved and be part of donation. Like we said, you don't need it anymore. Why not live on through someone else with Nevada Donor Network? Alma Rodriguez, Christine Hernandez, thank you so much for coming to join us today on Talking Solutions.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you as always, Terry.